Good morning, and welcome to the historic, the first Carolinas District Virtual Convention, or VCON. I'm not sure that any of us imagined that we'd not be celebrating a traditional district convention in Pinehurst this week, but if anything, Kiwanians have shown that they are a resilient and dedicated bunch. I'm John Hethcox, and I'm honored to serve this year as your governor. Here's what you can expect today from today's VCON. Business session will run from 9 to 9:50. Our general session will run from 10 to 10:50. Educational sessions will run from 11 to 12:30. And please be sure to use Carolina's Kiwanis VCON as your hashtag for today's social media. But before we get started, we have to do the official bell ringing. Please join me in an invocation. Heavenly Father, we stand before you with the hands, minds, and hearts that you gave us. Help us to put our hands at your service through the work of our club. Help our minds to understand the best ways to help those less fortunate. And we ask that you help all our hearts to inspire the actions our minds conceive. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please join me for Kiwanis' defining statement. Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. All right, now that the formalities are done, welcome to the business session. Before we quite get into the official business, here's a quick look at the schedule for this session. We'll have special recognitions, special video greetings from Kiwanis leaders, Carolinas District Foundation presentation, election results announcements, Governor-elect designate remarks, Governor-designate remarks, and Governor remarks. I would like to recognize the Kiwanis Club of Raleigh for having the most people registered for VCON 2020. Thank you for your support. I'd also like to recognize the following lieutenant governors for having a majority of the clubs from their division registered for DCON. They are George Dixon from Division 1, Donnie Ellis, Division 7, Curtis Ritchie, Division 10, Mac McLeod, Division 11, Lenore Lewis, Division 23, Kathy Finkel, Division 24, and Cindy Bryant, Division 26. Now, just because we're not meeting in person doesn't mean we won't get to hear from special Kiwanis guests. And because we're virtual, we've been able to gather 3 special Kiwanis representatives. Cathy Szymanski of the Pennsylvania District and our incoming International Board Counselor, Peter Mancuso of the New York District, our outgoing International Board Counselor, and President-elect designate of Kiwanis, and Art Riley of the Capital District, Kiwanis' International President Designate. It's going to be great hearing from such dedicated Kiwanians. We'll now go to Cathy, Peter, and Art.
Hello, Carolina District. I am very proud of the service that each one of you do. The sacrifice of time that you commit for Kiwanis, the leadership that you show in your clubs. We need more Kiwanians just like you. We need more Kiwanians just like you. And the only way to get more Kiwanians just like you is to have more Kiwanians. I challenge each one of you to recruit one more member for your club between now and September 30th. That would be one new member to help with fundraisers and service projects. One new friend to share the joy of being a Kiwanian. To accomplish these goals, we must work as a team, and we each must do our part. It does not matter if you're leading or following, as long as we all reach our common destination together. Governor John, you are not finished yet. You still have 46 days to finish strong. And Governor Chris, Over the past couple of months, I have been in awe of your leadership at the weekly meetings with your team. Your calm manner, servant leadership has certainly made a huge impact on your incoming team, as well as myself. The resilience you have shown this year has inspired me and helped me realize I can do anything I set my mind to accomplish. Kiwanians, challenge yourself. If you feel something is too much, just lean into it. You will find that you can do more than you thought you could. We are here to serve a single purpose, and that's to make our community stronger and safer. On October 1st, 2021, we will all celebrate together a fantastic year of leadership in service to Kiwanis, your clubs, and your communities. 5 years from now, I want all of us to be able to look back and say with confidence that we did everything we could to grow Kiwanis in service, our service leadership programs, and our membership. Let's pull together and focus on our clubs and finish strong. Thank you for everything that you do. Please stay healthy, safe, and stay resilient.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations on your district's first virtual convention. This isn't the convention you were expecting, but a lot of time and effort have gone into making sure that it would be an outstanding experience for you. And I hope that you will approach it with that same positive attitude. On behalf of Kiwanis International, I would like to thank all of you for your efforts under the most challenging of circumstances to serve your clubs and your communities this year. In particular, I would like to commend the excellent work that has been done by Governor John, the great contributions that have been made to our international board by your own trustee Coop, and the continuing service at a district and international level by past international trustee Elizabeth Teza, particularly in leading the Key Club 2.0 initiative. I also want to congratulate and wish the best of luck to Governor-elect Chris as he prepares to lead your district in the coming year. As the pandemic swept across your district and the rest of the world, we have all been challenged to carry on the good works of Kiwanis. Through your creative approaches to community service and your innovative use of modern communications to share fellowship, you have done exactly that. And for those of us who have sat out the past several months, now is the time to get back in the game, much as our professional athletes have. Consistent with good health practices, now is the time to fully participate in our club meetings. Now is the time to ask new members to join our clubs in service and fellowship. And now is the time to open new clubs, to extend our charitable reach to communities that have never known it. And I know that Governor John and his team are working very hard at a district level to lead these efforts. Again, I wish you a most successful convention and great success as you conclude this year and prepare for the opportunities of the next. Stay well, everyone.
Congratulations to all the Kiwanians of the Carolinas District as you reach this legacy milestone of 100 years of service to the communities of North and South Carolina. I know you're disappointed in not being able to meet together as a district in person and greet your fellow Kiwanians. I'm also disappointed that I have to record this video and not being able to greet you in person. But I do want to bring you sincere greetings from the entire International Kiwanis Board, as well as the Kiwanis International staff, President Daniel Vigneron, and Vice President Peter Mancuso. 100 years of service is certainly a time to celebrate. Your rich history and traditions serve you well in the Carolinas. Think of all the service that is provided by the numerous clubs in the Carolinas during the past 100 years. Remember all the thousands of Key Clubbers and CKIers that you have steered into a better future, and the millions of dollars that Carolina Kiwanis clubs have channeled back into their community through projects and services. As the next 100 years begin and you emerge out of this celebration, remember it's time to look to the future. Kiwanis has changed over the 105 years since its founding in Detroit in 1915. Kiwanis will continue to change during the coming years. The foundation of this change and a transformation of Kiwanis is being constructed right now by over 80 Kiwanis volunteers working on various committees at Kiwanis International. They are examining everything from membership, coaching, membership engagement, image building, partnerships, and leadership education. The foundation needs to be built, however, on the objects of Kiwanis, those 100 years of tradition that support Kiwanians in all that they do. Kiwanis is positioned well for this transformation, and it will begin during 2021. The path forward includes annual growth through new club openings and new club members. We will do an active job of coaching new clubs so they have a better foundation. There will be programs implemented to coach existing clubs who need some strengthening. We will also examine new formats of new clubs. We also have to strengthen our diversity. Right now, Kiwanians around the world are looking at how we can make our clubs more representatives of the communities we serve. There will also be significant support from the KI staff in a variety of topics, everything from club coaching and club support resources. There'll be new recommendations coming out of the diversity committee, as I mentioned. This diversity will encourage us to attract more members, women members, minority members, and encourage them to take leadership roles within Kiwanis International. Additionally, through all of this, we'll have to start innovative leadership education. Leadership education has been identified as the #2 priority for Kiwanis behind membership. We will also work on enhancing SLP programs, initiation of youth leadership programs in addition to our adult leadership initiatives, and we will learn how to effectively use electronic communication and build upon what we've learned during COVID-19. But now is the time to celebrate. But as you celebrate, remember the legacy for the next 100 years. Service to children who will need active Kiwanis participation as make sure that they have security, good quality education, and wellness services. Also, increasing the reach of Kiwanians through membership growth and partnerships. These will be essential if we're going to make an impact on our community. They'll also need greater involvement of Kiwanians as we mentor youth in their programs and expand their horizons, and the enhancement of the Kiwanis image, because it is the Kiwanis image and service that attract people to join our ranks as Kiwanians to serve the children. Congratulations on 100 years of service. It's a time to celebrate, but it's also to plan for the future. And I look forward to working with Governor Chris White during 2021, and we will build a strong legacy for Kiwanis, just as Chris and you bring a strong legacy of Carolina Kiwanis throughout the region. Thank you, congratulations, and I'm sorry again I can't be with you, but celebrate, celebrate, and celebrate. 100 years is a time for celebration.
We're lucky to have Art, Kathy, and Peter as key advocates for the Carolinas District on the International Board. We also are very lucky to be moving along to welcome some special guests with us today. We have a special message from Gary Cooper and Stan Perry, representing the Carolinas District Kiwanis Foundation. The foundation is funded solely by the donations of Kiwanians in the Carolinas and funds a wide variety of stellar programs and projects right here in our two states. Let's now go to Gary and Stan.
Good morning, Carolina Kiwanians. It seems like forever since our Kiwanis family have been together. Several years ago, when the plans were being made for the 100th celebration of the great Carolinas District in Pinehurst, no one could ever have imagined the times we are currently living in. I want to congratulate and thank Governor John and the leadership team for creatively finding ways to stay connected and to serve the children. And a big, huge thank you to each and every one of you who I know who've gone way outside your comfort zone to continue to serve the children. I want to take a moment to thank each member and club of the Carolinas District for their continued support of the Carolinas District Kiwanis Foundation, your foundation. I also want to mention the dedicated Kiwanians that serve on the board of your foundation. Dawn Puterball Hodges, Lynn Deese, Boyd Dimick, Webster James, Sid Eagles, Harold Jones, Pete Hugendonk, and longtime Secretary-Treasurer Stan Perry. Not only does your foundation count on the generous contributions from you and your clubs, but we also rely on you to connect us with your communities. Your foundation is eager to participate with your clubs in projects and programs within your communities that will make a difference in the lives of the children. We urge you to find more ways your foundation can assist you in making a difference. After all, Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Later in this video, we are going to highlight a few projects that your foundation has partnered with your clubs to make a difference. Thank you again for your continued support of your foundation. Stay safe and be well until our Kiwanis family can meet again. Thanks for all y'all do for Kiwanis and the youth we serve.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Karen, she's a silver sun. You best walk her away and watch it shining. Watch her watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now. I'm crying, ain't I? Gone to Carolina in my mind.
Greetings from Clemson University's 600-acre research campus in Columbia, South Carolina. As we reflect and celebrate the district's 100th anniversary, it's also a good time to consider your own club's history of service and give yourself a pat on the back for the important role you all have played. I think it is also fitting to remember the history of our foundation. Organizing and planning began in 1974. IRS certification was achieved in 1982, and many of you may remember the Caring Corner that began that year. For those less familiar, the Caring Corner was a collection of items that clubs and individuals brought to the conventions, donating them to the foundation for sale during the weekend. Over the first 8 years or so, the endowment grew slowly, reaching $15,000. Through careful management and with the support of generous clubs and individuals, the endowment now hovers around $1 million. Like many of you, our investments took a sizable hit with the recent market downturn. But we are back to within 10% of our previous high mark of $1,075,000. Since 2006, and that's as far back as my easily accessible records go, the foundation has provided well over $300,000 in grants, support, and scholarships. Much like the outlook for your clubs and our district, I envision a strong future for our foundation, as with your dedication and support, we move ahead. When we're all together, I'm frequently asked how Advice Mallard is doing. I don't recall how many years it's been since his initial introduction, but it was in 2017 when he came to life. While Gary Cooper has been artfully portraying the Duck since then, it was originally supposed to be our late friend, Tom Currier. Gary stepped in at the last minute when Tom's illness prevented him from attending the 2017 Midwinter Conference. Please enjoy a few more memories from our past and allow Advice Mallard the opportunity to close our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down a road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal.
Thank you very much, Stan and Gary. It is great to be able to hear from our partners at the Carolinas District Foundation. We've got a couple of things now that we've gotten some of our special guests out of the way. Given the extraordinary circumstances that we find ourselves in, the district board, under the advisement of Kiwanis International, determined that a live House of Delegates wasn't practical this year. But we still have to elect our leaders. So that means the district board in June voted to hold a special meeting on August 12th through 14th using a secure voting platform called Election Buddy to elect next year's officers. The special meetings delegates, as prescribed by our governing documents, were delegates at large, which consist of the following parties: current district board members, current lieutenant governors, past governors, and past lieutenant governors who are in good standing with their Kiwanis Club in the Carolinas District. We have 205 individuals who have met this criteria, and 82 submitted a ballot. Per Kiwanis International, past lieutenant governors are not required to be included in our quorum calculation. Therefore, of the 60 required individual voters, 31 ballots are required to have reached quorum. Having met this quorum, it's my pleasure to report the following results of our special meeting. For the office of District Trustee, please join me in congratulating Donnie Ellis of the Kiwanis Club of Lake Norman, Bernie Grant of the Kiwanis Club of Charleston, Jennifer Hethcox of the Kiwanis Club of Columbia, Mike Kirchner of the Kiwanis Club of Southport Oak Island, Charlotte, South Brunswick Islands, and Martha Lucas of the Kiwanis Club of Lee County. The Board of Trustees makes up a vitally important component of our district, and I'm proud of these individuals who have stepped forward and have joined the team. They represent a terrific range of professional and Kiwanis experience, and Governor-elect Chris is lucky to have a great team behind him. We will have a special Zoom induction ceremony in September, so please stand by for those details. Continuing on, I'm pleased to report that Joe Krostick of the Southport Oak Island Kiwanis Club has been elected to the office of Governor-elect, and Chris White of the Kiwanis Club of Raleigh has been elected as governor. Through the magic of technology, or that he's actually in the room standing here with us right now, we're going to hear from Governor-elect designate Joe Krostick in just a moment.
Thank you, Governor John, and hello, everyone. I want to first thank our delegates at large for electing me to the position of Governor-elect of the Carolinas District. I'm honored and humbled to accept this position, and I pledge to work diligently over the next year with the board and our governor to prepare myself to become your governor in October of 2021. As a candidate for this position, I've been attending our district board meetings and executive calls for most of the past year, and I've seen firsthand the commitment required to effectively conduct the business of the district, and I'm prepared to make that commitment. I've been inspired by each of the men and women who have served as governor of our district since I joined the Southport Oak Island Club about 10 years ago. I consulted with many of them as I considered whether to seek this office, and I appreciate their collective encouragement, and I hope that I'll have their continued counsel over the next few years. I also want to briefly recognize my fellow Kiwanis Club members in both the Southport Oak Island Club and the Charlotte South Brunswick Islands Club, who have all been so supportive of my quest to further my Kiwanis journey by becoming your governor-elect. I also want to thank my wife, Carlene, for her support and love as I pursue this quest. I look forward to assisting Chris White during his term as our governor, and I hope to see many of you throughout the next few years at your club meetings and events, and at our district meetings. Like you, I'm anxious to resume more in-person encounters as soon as it is deemed appropriate and safe to do so. But in the meantime, I look forward to participating virtually with you and your clubs as you continue to improve the world one child and one community at a time. You are what make Kiwanis a viable and relevant organization. Please let me know how I can best serve you. Thank you again. It's now my privilege to introduce in a moment our Governor Designate from the Kiwanis Club of Raleigh, Chris White.
Carolinas Kiwanians, thank you for electing me to serve as District Governor for 2020-21, the first year of the second century of Kiwanis in Carolinas. It is an honor and privilege that I take seriously. I pledged you that I will do my best to lead and to serve. As Lieutenant Governor Arnold Gordon Bray of the Kiwanis Club of Rocky Mount is fond of saying, it is time to bring your A game. Thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Raleigh and its members for their support and encouragement. I love being a Kiwanian, and I have loved being a member of the Centennial Kiwanis Club of Raleigh since 2004. It has been a time of study and preparation as Lieutenant Governor. Thank you to the officers, trustees, lieutenant governors, and other district leaders who have helped to train me to serve. The district has recruited an all-star leadership team this year. I look forward to working with the district officers, trustees, lieutenant governors, committee chairs, and all the clubs in the district, their leadership teams, to have a banner year. We begin this year with a century of momentum, thanks to the efforts of tens of thousands of Kiwanians who came before us. They generously gave their time, talents, and resources to build the district and improve the lives of children, youth, and their communities. We owe them a debt of gratitude and our best efforts to build on their success. At next month's Officer, Trustee, and Lieutenant Governor installation, I will discuss ideas and goals. Here's a quick preview. This year's theme is Team Kiwanis. Play hard, play smart, play together. We will play hard to form 5 new clubs, strengthen and grow existing clubs, complete the Eliminate project by raising the $87,000 needed to reach our $3.5 million pledge, and serve children, youth, and their communities. We'll play smart to train and educate our members through more online and virtual offerings, and also play smart with our finances. And we will play together with Kiwanis teamwork and collaboration, virtual when prudent and necessary, and in person when safe and possible. My intention is to include a district service project of adopting schools. We are in challenging times in 2020 with COVID-19, economic hardship related to COVID, political divisiveness in an election year, urgent issues of racial and social justice, natural disasters, and more. It has impacted the Carolinas. Our membership numbers are down year to date when normally they would be positive now. It's obviously harder to recruit when we are not meeting in person. We must and will adapt to change in the way we recruit members, serve, and fundraise. We must and will address the all-important membership recruitment and retention issues more than a decade in the making. But right now more than ever, children and youth need Kiwanis. Communities need Kiwanis. We personally need Kiwanis. This is a time of great possibility and opportunity. As Coach Roy Williams says to his basketball teams, be led by your dreams and not pushed by your problems. I believe in the mission of Kiwanis. I believe in the Carolinas District and its members. As Bob Iger, chair of the Disney companies and a member of the Kiwanis family says, I believe in the possible. Kiwanians, we are here to play hard, play smart, and play together to have a winning Kiwanis season. It is a great day to be a Kiwanian. Let's play ball. And now back to Governor John Hethcox.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris and Joe. I know that our district is in very strong hands going into the future, and I share both of your sentiments. We're very excited to have y'all leading our district next year. Now, I'm going to keep my remarks brief because, as you can see, you're going to be seeing me a good bit today. But I can safely say that when I was inducted as your governor last August in Greenville, a global pandemic wasn't really on my radar of things to worry about. We had clubs to build, members to educate and inspire, leaders to train, clubs to visit. In other words, we had a very full agenda. But divine providence being what it is, the good Lord had other plans for us. I considered it an honor to have been elected to the office of governor, and I consider it an honor to lead our district, along with the Take Action team, through these strange and turbulent times. Now, technically, the governor delivers his or her farewell type remarks during our fancy schmancy dinner on Saturday at district convention. But because we're anything but typical these days, I'm going to break up my farewell into two parts. The first part now, and the second part at our official officer retirement installation Zoom celebration in late September. My term started without much drama. Immediate past Governor Gregg broke some precedent, and rather than calling me at 12:01 a.m. on October 1st, he accidentally fell asleep in his easy chair, watching or not watching Monday Night Football. But that's okay. We moved on to Key Club's fall rally at Carowinds, where 1,000+ hyper high school students totally, and I mean totally, ignored the entirety of my prepared remarks. But again, that's okay, because I've been in their shoes, and I wouldn't want to listen to me either. Fall rally was followed by CKI's fall call retreat in Brevard, North Carolina. I'm not going to make any jokes about that, because when you live with the Circle K district administrator, you do what you're told and you keep your head down. After fall call, we entered the holidays with club visits and a club coaching day, all normal stuff. I took my youngest daughter Lillian to the boys and girls homes at Lake Waccamaw for their annual Christmas for Kids celebration organized by Scott Johnson. That visit to Lake Waccamaw will always be a cherished memory for me, and I appreciated greatly being asked to attend. For the rest of the year and into January, we were full bore into planning and pulling off our district mid-year conference. And again, the specter of global pandemic, not really on the horizon. In late February, I joined Circle K in Asheville for their district convention, where again, I took my order seriously. Then in March, I had two big events. Waynesville Kiwanis Club's Cabaret Show, which I was inexplicably asked to MC, and the Fayetteville Club's annual raffle and dinner. And that was it. After that, we went into full shutdown mode. I haven't been to an in-person Kiwanis meeting in the Carolinas since Fayetteville, but I have been Zooming all over North and South Carolina, speaking to Kiwanis clubs virtually ever since. I've lost count of the number of Kiwanis. Between Kiwanis and work, I've had hundreds of virtual meetings. But if there's a silver lining in all of this, it's being able to Zoom from the comfort of my own home office. And it's been awesome. I get to meet Kiwanians from all over our two states, but I get to be home for my girls. During these Zoom calls, I've tried to relay a consistent message, and that is that we're going to be okay. Kiwanians are a resilient bunch. Our district is 100 years old, and in that time, we've seen world wars, depressions, recessions, social upheaval, political strife, and yet we're still here, and we're still needed in the communities in which we serve. Kids still need Kiwanis, perhaps now more than ever. We don't know what the future holds, but we know that without Kiwanis, our communities, and ultimately our children, will suffer. Adapting to the environment we now find ourselves will be the key to overcoming the adversity we now face. I encourage all Kiwanians to respond with perseverance and grit, because we're going to be okay. Now, that does it for our official business session. I hope you are excited about our next year's leaders as I am. Coming up after our break, we are going to hear from our service leadership program leaders and a terrific keynote from Dave Kelly.